Airport manages the Freetown International Airport and other country aerodromes, and we've been working assiduously to build the reputation capital of the airport, attract more air carriers, and also continue to provide the safety and security that befits an international airport system. Peak period. The period under review we are discussing is about the peak period challenges. And every peak period, all airports all over the world that are constrained with space or having issues of them being smaller have those kind of challenges. So these challenges is how far you place modalities to be able to manage it well. And having an airport also becoming part of the on-site laboratory system for the international traveling regulations and formalities that came in the wake of COVID-19 also saw those challenges. So what we are doing is to look at all of the challenges and see how best we can address each and continue to strengthen the airport facilitation system. So what is happening is what we normally refer to the end-to-end passenger service, like from the gate to boarding. What are the services, what passengers need to know, and how we'll make those services seamless, conducive, and passengers be able to access each in a swift and timely manner. So programming that into the several other agencies within an airport system to understand the vision and to see how our sanity drive is going is key. So number one is like having the collaborative engagement now with the NACOVAC system, where passengers won't come to the airport again and say, I have not received my test and I'll not be able to travel. So those are the issues that happened some time ago. And so what we've done is to make sure that every passenger that gets to the airport has his or her COVID-19 certificate. And so the airport now has been factored into the main NACOVAC system to have those collaborative meetings and see where lies challenges and how to address them. Another issue again passengers we are concerned about, apart from the NACOVAC system, is where you can have two wider-bodied aircraft landing within a short space of time, and it makes the arrival a bit clammy because the infrastructure is limited. So those limiting components, again, we have to look into the airport slot committee and the entire slot system of where we can be able to add value to the timings wherein passengers arriving in wider-bodied aircraft will not meet that kind of stress level again and having that huge number within the facility. We are also looking at the zero tolerance policy. Once you are caught doing something that is not part of an international travel system, you are out. And not only out, you are further blacklisted to not work for any other entity within the airport. So for example, somebody will have done some kind of petty criminality or any criminality within one service provider, say, and the next time says, oh, okay, I've worked here, let me go and work there. It's not going to be possible again. Once out of our systems, you are out, so that we don't have those repetitive blunders. You cannot be found wanting with one service agency and then you go to another service agency. No. So a complete blacklist is being developed now from the civil aviation arm to reach out, and all of those things will be in place. The last one is about engaging our passengers to know that it is not okay not to report. So we are encouraging passengers to report unsolicited requests, bribery, extortion. We've created public service announcements to be all over. Having a sanitized airport system is about improving and advancing the security culture, wherein every worker, irrespective of where you're working, is aware of the security protocol. That means not only designated security staff are responsible on security matters, but you as a worker can be able to identify anything suspicious and report accordingly. We're also doing a number of public service engagements with our passengers. For example, if you go now to the airport, our public service announcement informing you not to allow any unsolicited request, bribery or extortion, and to report it to numbers and real-time compliance officers located at different parts of the terminal building. This is to help our passengers, because we want to promote a harass-free airport traveling environment. So passengers will say, oh, I was asked for money. If you ask for money, report the area. The CCTV coverage monitor is also doing real-time monitoring of every passenger interface area. So what we are currently doing is to review this CCTV. For example, going through any passenger interface segments, we are monitoring. For example, if the passenger takes more time within that location, a compliance officer will ask, what are you looking for? What are you further finding from this passenger, so that the passenger can proceed. But again, the responsibility again and the encouragement we are sending out is to get more of our passengers concerned with our sanitized drive, to have a airport system that will satisfy the passenger and that will bring him more comfort, more convenience, and more relaxation, so that the impressive experiences he or she will glean from the airport, they will go back and retell our news story.
Okay, you just talk about area this area, for example. What do you normally do in the area of missing flights for passengers? How do you address some of this?
Well, the passenger and the airline has contractual relationship, but then at some point in time, the passenger, there will be incident of no-show. The passengers will nearly miss because of the ferry schedule or whatever other implications or whatever due to NACOVA. So what we've done again is build the partnership with NACOVA. We call it now the collaborative coordinating meeting with all service providers, essential service providers. So apart from the statutory meetings, like we have the airport facilitation committee meeting, the airport security meeting, we've gone steps further to have collaborative coordinating meeting where we will sit with major strategic partners within an airport system, which is now the NACOVAC, immigration, airlines, hotels, to see what areas merit a number of attention and to advise the public accordingly. Because you will agree with me that most times they'll just say it's the airport, and people don't understand that within an airport system you have these various key players that are also instrumental to bring about the formalities or to conclude traveling formalities within an airport system. So we have to get them, so for us to sing within the same version and provide the kind of care, comfort, and service, the level of service that the passengers should get or befitting an airport, international airport system. So that's what we are doing now, working with them every day. In the airport security meeting, we've gone steps further to have collaborative coordinating meeting where we will sit with major strategic partners within an airport system, which is now the NACOVAC, immigration, airlines, hotels, to see what areas merit a number of attention and to advise the public accordingly. Because you will agree with me that most times they'll just say it's the airport, and people don't understand that within an airport system you have these various key players that are also instrumental to bring about the formalities or to conclude traveling formalities within an airport system. So we have to get them, so for us to sing within the same version and provide the kind of care, comfort, and service, the level of service that the passengers should get or befitting an airport, international airport system. So that's what we are doing now. Well, providing international service, you always have to constantly improve, plow back into it, and develop more service structures. So as at now, yes, we are trying, having all the limiting components like I mentioned, the infrastructure, and having other side amenities that can complement air travel. Air travel is becoming so diverse, and the passengers are looking more into having more service being tendered at the point of departure. But again, you have to constantly study the market, because the post-pandemic period, again, passengers are moving away from retail service. They just want to come, board their flight and go. They just want ancillary services that just complement their travel to be easy. So we have to look at the market again, study the passenger trend, and be able to guide what services we can better improve on. But we know, again, we have to do more in terms of delivering value, reducing the queue system, generating more passenger confidence, generating the areas that passengers feel is a level of stress level, how to reduce that stress level, educating our staff that the passenger needs maximum premium in terms of having his formality being concluded without asking for anything and being professional in their duties. We're looking at more of them becoming so professional to the point that we can continue to be having these accords. This is a statutory preparation. This is part of our airport emergency preparedness plan, and is in conformity with the civil aviation structures in terms of putting emphasis on the safety regime of an airport system. So the simulation exercise takes into cognizance the fire drills, the response, and how much passengers, not passengers, and how much we can rebuild the confidence of our carriers, the public, and also government. So we look at what needs to be within a response situation. How do you respond to airport emergencies? The incident, the response time, and also the logistics that should be available on site at that particular point to save lives and property, and also to support Accident Investigations Bureau in times of those kind of crises. Accident Investigations Bureau in times of those kind of crises.
What have been the successes over the years?
Well, the successes have been huge. Like all through the pandemic, it's really the pandemic was so catastrophic to aviation and the airport system. So what we have done, the mere fact we are able to sustain an airport system, providing for our staff, and also meeting the monthly obligations, striving to provide excellence in customer care, in service delivery. So those are the successes for now, because we cannot, during this COVID period, we did not engage in capital intensive.
Talk about some of
we did not embark on capital intensive project as at this particular period, because all what you need at this point was sustaining the airport business and making it viable for your current operations. So looking into 2021, we are looking at the trend again, how passenger numbers can pick up and help us to solve most of the challenges, and also lead us into the project that we had envisioned.
Anything you want to talk about that we want to discuss?
Well, again, it's about our passengers. They have the rights, and they are the main focus. This 2022 is a passenger here focus. So what we really want is to work with them to understand what are their needs within an airport system. We've understood in the past, but now we're looking at a post-pandemic traveler. We're looking at a traveler that wants more from air travel and does not want to be bothered or an airport system becoming cumbersome for his or her travel. So we're working with our staff to understand that the passenger needs more within an airport system. So the education of our staff, our passengers to report, because once you report, you've made it easy for us to weed out the bad eggs from the basket. Because at this juncture, I can tell you that all of the service providers are firing their staff. Because if you don't comply to the policies that were set in place to say, this is our country, our reputation capital is important as a nation, our reputation as an international airport system is so vital that we cannot allow just one single person to bring us down the drain, so you're going to be out. But if the passengers don't give us the information, don't tell us, we cannot be able to do it. And that is why, again, for each area a passenger moves into, we have the public service announcement. Please report unsolicited requests. You don't just come and say, oh, they ask me for money. Everywhere they beg. They have name tags. We've insisted on them wearing uniforms at a point of entry. They have name tags. Call them out, because the CCTV monitor cannot get every side view or every passenger interface. But then as soon as you come into our Facebook page, our website, using the call numbers, using our email system, straight away that incident is picked up, that passenger A was at this area, this officer made an unsolicited request. It has to be honest, of course, not to give the workers problems or challenges. It has to be from an honest perspective, so that we'll look into it.